So I was watching a really interesting video, and I just had to pop a video up, start recording. So I'm gonna put these glasses on because my key light is blinding me. Kind of douchey looking. I'm in a dark room, sunglasses, but chill, right? Let's chill. So I came across this video, and it was basically like a homeless guy talking to these two guys, and he's ranting and going off, and he said some pretty profound stuff. And the one thing that he said that really popped out to me was, the guy brought up the topic of haters, right? It's like, well, what's your opinion about haters? And the guy was basically like, it's standard. They don't know why they're hating. Ask them why they're hating, right? And that hit me, I sat there and I was like, yeah, that's actually that's a pretty deep, kind of humbling thought, Because so often we're defensive all the time, right? There's haters, we gotta fight back, fuck you, and boom, it's like a battle, it's a back and forth, right? And oftentimes we don't think of, well, why are they hating, right? Or are they just jealous? Is it envy? Is it them seeing the mirror of something that they don't think they can achieve, so they hate on something? And it kind of led me to basically this video, which I call "Don't Hate the Crabs." And the following thought that popped up in my head was the analogy of crabs in a bucket. A lot of people talk about crabs in a bucket, you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, and when they try to climb out, one gets to a certain height and gets a little bit higher in the bucket, and the other crabs pull them down, and you never can achieve because crabs always pull you down. People can be like crabs in the bucket, and it does have some validity and truth to that, analogy. If you have a lot of people that see you exceeding, they will try to pull you down. And with that thought, there's often a lot of fear of that happening, a lot of defensiveness, and yeah, you should be aware and a little, defensive when that comes about, but to kind of be more grounded and being like, okay, why would they act that way? It kind of humanizes the whole situation, because we're all just people trying to survive in a confusing, very loopy world, especially in today's modern times. Nothing makes sense. Things are just ridiculous. Down is up, up is down, purple is blue, and orange is the new black, right? Like, it's just nothing makes sense at all. So with the world being so crazy, we just get so caught up in feeling left behind, or not feel like we fit in, or seeing other people succeed, or people have sometimes things don't even have to do with you, right? They have no connection, but there can be someone out there who is going through their own internal battle, and they see something that you're doing that might be something internal to them that hits some kind of emotion that triggers a response that they don't feel comfortable with. They don't feel comfortable with that emotion. They don't feel comfortable with that feeling, so they just react. They throw hate. They try to pull you down, right? And when you just simply go and think like, it's another person, it's another human. They're not my enemy, right? Not everybody is your enemy. You're not a fucking hammer and everything's a nail and you just gotta squash it and demolish it. Because if you act like that your whole life, what do you have? You have nobody around you, because you had to hammer every single nail that you perceived was pulling you down. And oftentimes I mean, I'll be guilty of this. I'm a human being. I'm not gonna record myself and put my face on the internet and be like, hey, I'm totally perfect. You should watch this channel to be like me. But you won't be like me because you cannot be like me. No, that's bullshit, right? That's just all bullshit. I create these videos to just learn some of the things I teach and have fun and talk about stuff that I find interesting. So, again, back to my main point, because I kind of lost my train of thought. When you take yourself away from being the center, right? Like, oh, you know, this person's acting this way, or they said this thing to me, or they don't like me because X, Y, Z. When you take things personally, it can really damage your reality, right? Your world. You can't affect your reality and morph it and change it because we're in this global reality where we all interact with each other. So, like, there are repercussions for things. You know, you run up to somebody, you slap them in the face. That does morph and change your reality because now you just assaulted somebody, right? So, when we perceive thoughts or actions or things that happen to us from other people, we can misconstrue them dependent on our own emotions, right? Just because, like, you're aware other people are emotional doesn't mean you're not emotional too, and your emotions don't play a role in how you interact with people and view the world, right? You can have a small lens of how you view things in life and misinterpret things all the time. It happens to me, it happens to many people. It's part of being human. We're not perfect, right? And that's where the biggest lesson, and I have to make a whole separate series about this because they're really profound lessons. But the Four Agreements is a good book. I recommend you read it. I'll make a whole separate video and review about that. But one of them is to not take things personally. And that is a huge lesson because that ties into the very beginning of, like, the whole hater thing, right? You can't understand what someone else is going through, what they're thinking of, what their history is. You ain't got time for that, right? What, every interaction with another human being, you're gonna be like, hold up, pause. Let's hit the pause button. Let me go through your whole history, your childhood, your emotional state, your financial state, your relationships, your work life, your day-to-day life, your health, your mental health. Let's just look at this whole chart. Okay, check it out. Okay, let's interact with each other. That'll never happen, right? Everybody is like a loose cannon of all kinds of events, and they just come into your life and you interact with them, and they go. And what happens in that interaction, you cannot take it personally. You cannot be like, oh my God, they made this comment with a different tone, and that hurt my feelings. Okay, first of all, tonality, how people say certain things, guess what? Words, butthole, squash, necesito, fucking hola, ciao. I said a bunch of words, right? It's a bunch of random shit. And what is that? It's air. It's air passing through a fucking vocal box, right? And people get offended by that. They take it personally. You have the power to take things and interpret them and have them have an effect on how you feel. It's not an easy thing by any means, trust me. It's definitely a practice. It's definitely a meditation. It's definitely an art. But when you learn this and understand that when you don't take things personally, your interactions with other people will vary and will change, okay? Because you begin to understand that people have all kinds of things going on in life. People are at fault. People aren't perfect. Hey, that's just how life is. Nothing in life is completely perfect. So if you can interact with haters, interact with people, interact with any situation, if someone sees you succeeding and they're pulling you down, don't punch your other human being in the face, right? It's gonna be like, oh, pow, get off me. I'm gonna be alpha. Oh, they're people too, right? They're just a person that may have insecurity about you succeeding, and that makes them feel a certain way, and they can't deal with that. So they try to pull you down, or they try to hate, or they try to say negative things, or whatever. But by showing people grace and not taking things personally, man, that can make life, you can navigate life so much more easily than just going around, getting hurt by everything, viewing everybody as an enemy, everybody as a nail, and you're the fucking hammer, and it just makes life terrible. In all honesty, that just sounds shitty. So, learn. I hope you pulled something from this video, and if you did, hey, leave a comment below. I love to read your comments, and if you like this content and would like to see more of it, please hit the subscribe button and that little bell notification, because then you get notified when new things are posted, and you get to see this, a guy with glasses on in a dark room at night, because that totally makes sense, right? Hit the like button, and if you guys like anything, like want to read recommended books or coaching or whatever, website link wordsofmichael.co is in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you and take care.